What's up everybody, it's me Chris Burns. I am back with another video, and today's video is really special because it's a lot going on right now in the industry, and I think this subject is something that we should talk about. So, the future of anime and manga. Where are we going, guys? Is it positive? Is it negative? Let's talk about it. And while I talk, you're going to be watching me draw one of my pages from chapter 13, a brand new character from my manga. His name is Nomad. So enjoy the time-lapse video. Don't worry, I'll get into all the Chikara plug related material at the end of the video because my stuff is not important right now at the beginning. So if we're going to talk about the future, let's talk about the past for a little bit. Let's go all the way back to 1996 and let's talk about the big three of anime and manga. We're talking about Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. Now, these respective titles did a lot for my generation and the generation before me. They set the foundation for what manga and anime in the shonen category could be at its peak. And this is back in the late 90s, early 2000s, before we had all these crazy animation studios and CGI in anime. This was the OG stuff, y'all. Gotta respect it. So these titles gave us, you know, the standard for shonen, the protagonist that's fighting for something, and that's his drive for the entire show, from beginning to end, no matter how many seasons there are, no matter if the show gets canceled and then decides it wants to just come back randomly, it's the same. You know, we got the young protagonist, normally about 10 to 12, sometimes in high school, sometimes. But they set the standard, guys. They set the standard for battle manga and battle shonen anime. You know, you got the amazing fight scenes, you got the protagonist that's aiming to become the number one of something or the greatest of something, and by the end of the show, you know, they normally achieve it, and everybody lives happily ever after, and you have a great shonen story. But with all of that success, you have to look at the cons of that type of story as well, at least the stories that I mentioned and others in that period of time. Yes, they had great plots, they had great characters, it was iconic, but they were missing something. There was something missing, and that key factor that's missing with that genre of story is just now being touched on today. It's taken the industry almost 25, maybe even 30 years to get to this point. And that leads me to the actual subject of the video, you know, the future of anime and manga. What is the future? The genre and industry it's in a very particular situation right now to where things have to change. And some people don't want them to change, but that way of writing and storytelling is evolving and is shifting. And I believe that we're in for a lot of different material. And people just have to be willing to open up and say, you know, maybe this is just the new wave of shonen or whatever genre you want to call it that's coming out in the industry. Now, before we get into that a little bit further, I want to say that I had the privilege of being on a Saturday AM podcast called The Roundtable, where we talk about a lot of stuff. If you guys haven't checked out some of the episodes, you know, there's a link on the screen right now. We have done a lot of episodes. I've been featured on one. The second one's coming out soon. And we talk about a lot of what's going on in the industry involving anime and manga. They talk about a lot of what's going on in summer of manga with artists, and we're going to talk about summer manga in a little bit, but we talk about a lot. And if you guys want to kind of keep up with what's going on kind of in the industry from perspectives from people from around the world, not just one kind of viewpoint, definitely go check out the podcast. They are being edited beautifully by Jackie and others of the Saturday AM team. You guys go check that out. Now back to the future. Back to that one thing that I told you that those stories are missing, and stories like that are missing. And that word is diversity. Now, when you talk about diversity, it's a broad topic because, you know, there's so many things that you can incorporate, not into just anime and manga, but to a lot of things to incorporate diversity and do it well. And I honestly, in my opinion, I think that's the next wave of stuff that's going to be coming out and that's going to be popular. But that's stuff that myself growing up, but also Saturday AM has put out since the beginning. The foundation of their company has been laid out for that. That is diversity, you know, making sure everyone is represented and it's not just, you know, one type of person. It's everybody, because we live in a world where literally there's so many cultures, so many different people, so many different experiences. There is not just one race over the whole world that does one thing. We're all different, and I think that should be incorporated into comics and manga, and I believe that's the way we're going. Number one, it's the future, and number two, I just believe the stories they could be a lot better. They could be a lot more in depth, and overall, I just, you know, the possibilities are endless. I know what you're thinking. Oh, what's he talking about? Like, Naruto is diverse? Yeah, to some extent it is. I'm not saying that Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece are not. Like, trust me, like, I loved it as a kid, getting to the part where you got to see the Raikage and the village hidden in the cloud. You know, it's a lot of people of color, and I thought that was really awesome that they incorporate that into the universe, because up until that point, you know, it was just a lot of Asian characters or Western inspired looking characters. So that's awesome. I personally have not watched Bleach all the way through, but I do know there are some people of color in Bleach. So it's subtle in those animes, and even One Piece, it's subtle. It's very, very subtle, but I feel like it shouldn't be subtle. I feel like it should just be open. It shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, like a person of color, like, oh, that's so rare. It should just be, you know, from the get-go. Like, we have some, or you know, not even people of color. It could be from anywhere around the world. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that it should just be natural. It shouldn't be a shock to the viewer. Now, I'm sure you guys can flood the comments and flood my DMs with screenshots and Wikipedia pages of this character's in this anime and this character's this anime. What are you talking about? There's no diversity. I'm not saying there's none. I'm just saying that I believe there needs to be a little bit more, but not forced, if that makes sense. Like, no one should feel obligated to put a person of color in their manga to, you know, make it to where, you know, to where now they have that demographic reading their stuff. That's not what I'm saying. It should just be a natural thing to add to the story to just make it more realistic. Myself personally, I have a couple of examples where that is done, and it's done well, and it's done naturally. So let's get into the Saturday AM graphic novels that are coming out in a store near you. Now, I'm sure you guys that follow Saturday AM know some of these titles. We got Apple Black, we got Hammer, we got Saigami, we got Oblivion Rouge, and we have a lot more coming out. It's going to be awesome. I am actually really, really excited. If you guys have not been following these titles that are getting published in actual book form and put in whatever store, a bookstore, comic store near you, I think that's amazing, because what this does, this opens up the floodgates to the next generation of opportunity and artists that can get this same experience and now actually finally compete with some of these amazing stories like My Hero Academia, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, whatever you want, whatever you read, whatever you're into. Hey, don't be surprised if you see Apple Black, Saigami, Oblivion Rouge next to it, because it's happening. And all the information for this, guys, is on the screen here. There's links in my bio, but definitely go check out Saturday AM and the respective artists for these stories if you have not checked them out already, because a lot of these artists are not based in the US. Some of them aren't even from the US. Some of them are from Nigeria, some are from the UK, some are from the US, some are from Japan. There's creators from around the world making manga that is diverse, and in my opinion, some of these stories are better than some of the stories that are actually being published, like in Weekly Shonen Jump. Not taking a shot at Shonen Jump or those artists, like, you know, write what you want, make what you want, respectively, but some of the stuff is really, really good, guys, and you guys should definitely go check it out. With that being said, and how I want to go back to saying this opens up the floodgates and opportunity, Saturday AM has a competition every year called Summer of Manga, and Summer of Manga is where artists from around the world can create concepts, pitch their ideas, and go toe-to-toe against each other to possibly be published within Saturday AM magazine. And what makes this even more impactful than the previous Summer of Mangas is because now in the future, if their story is great, if their story is good, if they really want to push whatever message they have, and if they want to incorporate diversity, it is now possible for them in the future to one day have their book printed, bound, and sold in a comic book store or bookstore near them, where they can show their friends, they can show their family, they can show their fan base, look, you can actually go buy my product now. I think that's amazing. That's amazing. If you guys want to go check out some of the current contestants for Summer of Manga, which you should, here's the page on the screen. The link is in the bio below. Also, you can go to SaturdayAM.com and all the links will be there for Summer of Manga, for the magazine, for the past competition of March Art Madness. There's a lot there. I know it's a lot, but you guys should check it out, because if you're into anime and manga and you want to be a part of the industry, whether you're a fan or you're a creator, this is stuff that you should be kind of looking out for and looking at to see what the industry's doing and how it's evolving. Now, I know I talked for a lot. I know I plugged a lot of information for you guys and a lot of, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I want you guys to think about that. Like, think about how not just, you know, Saturday AM and how amazing they are, but think about the future of anime and manga. And for yourself, if you're a creator, think about the future. You know, I believe it's time to start making stories that are not based on the previous, you know, type of shonen battle style. Like, it's, you know, not saying you can't make a shonen. That's not what I'm saying, because I love a good shonen. I love it. But there's ways to change it and make it better than just a copy and paste from Naruto or the next One Piece, because we already have One Piece. I don't want to watch another One Piece. I want to watch something new, something that might give me One Piece vibes, but it's a brand new take on it. And, you know, I think personally that's where we are at, and that's where we are going, and it's exciting. It's not depressing, it's exciting stuff. And that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed me talk my head off and talk about anime and manga, because I could do that for hours. I love it. I love the industry. It's fun stuff. And I hope you guys have something to think about. And also, I hope you enjoyed me drawing this page from chapter 13 from my manga, Chikara. Nomad, such a good character. I'm excited to show you guys what he can do in the upcoming chapter that I'm working on, and what his purpose is in the overall story, because we have so many characters and they all have a purpose, and his is pretty cool. If you want to check out my manga Chikara, it is available for free on pilotmanga.com by Saturday AM. You can read chapters 1 through 13 and get caught up, see what's going on with the crew, see what's going on in the world of Chikara, because crazy things are about to happen and I'm excited about it. But if you want to read it, definitely read it. I think it's amazing. I think it's a really fun story. You should go check it out right now. And guys, that's a wrap. I will catch you guys for the next video. Peace.